So as we close the door, we're bringing it closed. There's a wire here. This wire is going to ride up over top of this wire. So as you start to close it, it'll hit low on this wire, and you'll feel it or see it or hear it click up over on top of this one. That's what should happen. Now right here, there is a little piece of plastic, and as I pull down on my flipper, that's the piston that's hitting the ball, but down here there's a piece of plastic that's pivoting. You can see that pivot, and in the background you can kind of see the wire, this wire that's moving that part. So there's a tab on this piece of plastic that hits this piece of plastic, and what it does is it pulls down and then it pushes a ball, not into my hand, but it pushes it into the shooter lane. So as you close your door, this plastic needs to be below this tab. Now it should be, but I just wanted to point that out in case you ever, wait, I'm doing everything, it's not, you close the door and you're shooting and nothing's happening. It could be that somehow that this got above this tab here. So let me zoom out, we'll close the door. Actually, we can just go to the other side. So here's the latch, and as we close the door, so it hit, it kind of was sticky, and I just lifted up a little bit. I'm going to push down, and now it's closed. Here's one of two of the latches that hold the playfield door. There's another one up a little higher. So as you close the playfield door, we're going to need to pinch this closed, and what's going to happen is that part is going to turn into the playfield door and lock it in place. Okay, that takes care of cleaning out that ball jam. Let's empty the machine of balls, which you should always do before you store it or move it. So we've emptied the ones out of the play tray. However, there are still some balls in the shooter assembly. And to get those out, just shoot them out. That's the best way to do it. Shoot them out and let them fall, or pull down part way, and the balls shoot up part way of the track, but they don't shoot all the way out on the play field. And if you do that, then they just roll down here. Okay, that's got all of those out of all the balls out of the front. Now let's turn it around and take the balls out of the back. Okay, getting the balls out of the back, it's a little tricky. The first step is simple. We're going to push down on this lever, and when we do, all the balls up here will fall through the chute. Okay, all the balls out. Sometimes there might be one or two just hanging around, and if you shake the machine, that should get them out. The light came on, so we'll go ahead and disconnect the battery. Okay, now that took care of all the balls up to this point. There are still some balls in here, and it's still tricky how we get those out. Let me zoom in. Okay, I've zoomed into this area here. We're going to need to move this lever. You can either grab this bar, or you could grab right here. And we have to pivot it up, and then back down. Do that again. Okay, that got all those balls out. So now all the balls should be out of your machine. We'll go ahead and lock this lever while we're here. That way next time you load balls, it's already locked. I'm going to artificially create a ball jam in back. One that happens if perchance this seesaw isn't reset and we start having the balls back up. So let me open the front. I'm going to drop some balls in. Okay, so because there weren't any balls in the jackpot assembly, this ball rolled down, the seesaw pivoted, and it stopped here. Now it can't move, and if you pull on this, you'll break it. So don't do that. I'll show you how to get that out in a minute. But let's go ahead and put in more, because typically, if this happens, you're going to have more than one ball. Okay, you've got a lot of balls backed up in behind the seesaw. If we push up on this pin, it'll reset it. It'll grab the next ball, and it'll let it flow down here. Okay, now we have several. So to get those out, it's a multi-step process. Okay. This shovel arm, which goes behind the plastic all the way over here, it can't pivot. If you follow it, and you come up this rod all the way up here to this part, and you got this metal linkage goes behind here. But right above it, let me zoom in and show you. It's getting locked by these two white levers. So when you don't have any balls in the top of your machine, these two white levers drop down and they hit this metal and it stops. So that arm can't move anymore. If I were to try and push on it, you can see it's stuck. So one way to solve it is load balls in the top tray. Those two levers will move out of the way. However, that won't solve the problem completely, because we had so many balls down in the bottom stuck. So you could potentially just take your finger and move those levers aside. But let's just pour balls on the top. Okay, as those balls ran across the track, you could see that these two white levers moved. Now let's see what that did to the shovel arm. So where it used to be in the middle, with those white arms out of the way, it was now able to drop all the way to the bottom. Now when it's at the bottom like this, there is a wire that, if you were look at it from the side, almost looks like a paper clip. If we just pick up on this wire, the balls, at least one will fall out. Okay, the others didn't. If there's too many balls, the weight of the balls will cause them to jam and they won't all flow out. So you either need to grab the rod on the other side or the metal here and kind of jiggle it a little bit while holding up this paper clip, and that'll let the balls, that'll release the pressure of the weight of all the balls, and then they can fall out. So we'll do that. I'm going to hold up this paper clip, and then I'm just going to I did that, and all the balls came out of that track now. Okay, that concludes this quick start guide. I hope this gets you up and running. If you have any questions, check out the instruction DVD. We'll send that with the machine. It's got several hours of tips and tricks for these old machines, and give us a call if you have any other questions. Thanks so much.